Welcome back to Midday Kentucky, everyone. Well, if you're looking to remodel your home, you'll want to hear this. Thomas Todd from Kinkead Stilz is in studio today to walk us through the process of remodeling and how we can make sure we get the most out of our project. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is what we need to get straight into. How do we go about choosing the right person for the job?
Well, first thing I would recommend is make sure that any contractor you hire is a member of the local building association, Building Industry Association of Central Kentucky. You're going to get more professional, higher quality people and professionals that are a member of that organization. But then secondly, certainly I would go through the neighborhood that you live in, ask some of your neighbors who they use. Recommendations. And then thirdly, I would certainly tell anybody to go take a look at some of the projects these people have done.
That's good advice. There was a really interesting question that a viewer asked us is, do you need a written contract when you have a contractor? And that's why when we came to you and asked you to give us advice on this as a law firm, is this something that I would get from a contractor and then bring to you to make sure that...
Generally speaking, most contractors will have a written agreement. I absolutely would not recommend anyone doing a substantial amount of work on your house without a written contract. And that protects both parties because everybody's got an agreement. You know exactly what's going to be done, how much it's going to cost, and hopefully more or less when it's going to end.
Because we always hear horror stories. Okay, no one really talks about the wonderful job. They always talk about how horrible this was.
That's true.
And you know, people say, well, the contract's not worth the ink that it's written with. Is that really true?
If you have a contract, I would disagree with that.
All right.
I think that it gives both parties options and rights, and in the interest of fair disclosure, I typically represent more contractors than homeowners.
I understand.
But a fair contract is going to protect both parties.
But that to me is the reason why I would hire you. Because if you represent the contractors, I think to myself as a consumer that you know how to make sure it's all put together and fair for both sides. Here's an interesting question is, should you hire an architect? At what level of a redo of a house do you need an architect?
That's a good question, and I've certainly seen many projects done without an architect. I would suggest, and this is a rule of thumb, I would suggest that once you get up into the six figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars of renovation, architects certainly can add a lot of value to the project. They can make it work efficiently. They can suggest ways both for the contractor to build it, but also for the homeowner to end up with a really good, fine product. Okay.
Great question, everyone. You're probably going to want to love this one. What are the common methods to pay for a remodeling job? Now it says, should you get a fixed price? Should you get cost plus or cost plus a fee? What does this all mean?
The answer to that question is it depends. Like a typical attorney. I think the smaller the job, the more it lends itself to a fixed price contract. For example, my wife and I last year built a screened-in porch on the back of our house. And it was not a six-figure job, and we had a set of plans that the contractor and us worked up, and he gave us a fixed price. And we made a few changes, but that's the way it worked out. If you're remodeling a home that is downtown Lexington in Gratz Park that was 200 years old, nobody's going to give you a fixed price contract on that. You have no idea what you're going to get into. So what they're most likely going to do is give you a list of the bills and agree on a fee on top of that. 20–30%.
I got you.
Fee is.
Here's the most important thing. What happens if you hire a contractor and they haven't paid their part of the bills for your product that you've paid him for?
Well,
and then you don't get that part of the product.
Well, first of all, you need to call me. It'd be the first thing I tell you to do. But secondly, that is a very large problem. It is a scary problem, and that's the homeowners, especially their worst nightmare is they've written a large check to a builder, and then 2 weeks later they find out that the roofer, the bricklayer, or the plumber hasn't been paid and is about ready to file a lien on your house, which ultimately can lead to foreclosure.
Can you protect me? for that?
I think so. Yeah, we certainly we do that a lot.
Hey everyone, if you need more information about this amazing man Thomas, or Kinkead and Stilz and all the services that they offer, and you know what, just give them a buzz if you're a little unsure. Always a phone call is the best. There's all the information up on the screen, everyone, phone number and email address, and of course website as well. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank
We
you
look
very
forward
much.
to seeing you
Appreciate it.
again. Hey, stick around everyone for What's Poppin' and your weather forecast. This is Midday Kentucky. See you now.